Hi, hey, how's it going, guys? Today we're gonna be doing a NBA franchise tier list. I'm gonna be ranking them on their overall accomplishments as a franchise, not on how good they're doing this year. So, yeah, let's get into it. The Hornets. I shouldn't have to explain this one. Best player in Hornets history is Alonzo Mourning, and he would be like a good team. He'd be like their 10th or 11th best player of all time. So yeah, no, the Charlotte Hornets have always been terrible. Only made the playoffs a handful of times. I don't think they've ever been to the second round. Probably the worst franchise. The Washington Wizards. I think they have like one title, maybe two, with Wes Unseld back in the day. Because they have one title, I'll put them in the C tier. And I mean they've made the playoffs. They had Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, Bradley Beal. They've been in the playoffs. They're just not. They're not competing for a championship in the past couple decades. OKC doesn't have a championship. They neither did Seattle, which is the new OKC. Seattle turned into OKC, but Oklahoma City, they don't have a championship. But they did birth KD, Westbrook, and Harden into the league. You know what? I'm gonna put them in the C tier. If they had a championship, they'd be in the B tier. But just the fact that they don't, I can't do it. Orlando, same boat as OKC. They birthed some great players: Penny Hardaway, Shaquille O'Neal, Dwight Howard, but they never broke through. Bucks, put Bucks in the B tier. Kareem, Giannis, Oscar Robertson, and they won a championship. So you can't really argue with that one. They're as solid as it comes. Memphis, they don't have a title either, and they don't really have like any super like Hall of Fame superstars. Like they have the Gasol brothers, who might make the Hall of Fame. Zach Randolph, Ja Morant now, but nah, they're a pretty bottom of the barrel franchise. The Clippers, who also don't have a championship. Did they just put all the teams that don't have championships first? Holy shit, man. Yeah, no, they don't have a championship. But especially a couple years ago, they'd be in the D tier. Right now, put them in the C tier because they're respectable. They're gonna probably get a chance to win a title in the next couple years, so they're solid. The Knicks have, I think, two titles with uh, Frazier and DeBuscher and those guys. But the Knicks franchise has just been awful. They're so bad. They have Patrick Ewing, who is their best player. Carmelo Anthony, great. But the front office is awful, man. Atlanta Hawks, uh, Bob Pettit, Dominique Wilkins. It's the only real highlights they have. Trey Young now, obvious Trey Young is great. They're not great. They they honestly could be here, but I'm gonna put them in the C tier. The Raptors are B tier. Raptors are fantastic. I mean, they only have one championship, but Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Kyle Lowry, of course, Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, they're very good. They belong here. L.A. Lakers, S tier, of course. Tied with Boston for the most championships at 17. An unnameable amount of GOATs. Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, Jerry West. The list just goes on. There's so many. One of the they're number one or number two. Pelicans. No. Anthony Davis, I guess. Zion Williamson, but no, this is a terrible franchise. They can't win anything. Sacramento, same boat. They Buddy Hield might be one of their best players of all time, and that's not good. I mean, they have Mike Bibby back in the day, Chris Webber, of course. But no, they're not good. Portland. Scottie Pippen went there after the Bulls days. Dame, CJ, and just they've been respectable the last decade. They just haven't made it to the finals, but they've been respectable. They're always there. Golden State, put them in the A. They would be S, but I mean they went a while without winning a championship. I think Wilt won them one in like the 60s, 70s, and then they didn't go back for 40 years. So I mean, they have 4 championships, which is respectable. It's good, and they have some of the greatest players of all time: Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Wilt Chamberlain. But they're just they don't have the resume of the Lakers. But they're respectable. Denver Nuggets. Alex English, Nikola Jokic, Carmelo, Iverson went there. Yeah, they're not. Is Carmelo, Iverson, Jokic? No, they're not. They're not as good as the Raptors. You have to win a championship to be in this. That is my rule. You have to win a championship to be in here. Pistons. I'm gonna put Pistons in the A tier. They have 2 separate dynasties. Even though one of them only won 1 championship, but they have okay, sorry. They have 2 separate great eras with the Bad Boy Pistons and then the Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace Pistons. They have some of the best defensive players ever. Like I said, Ben Wallace. Then you have Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Chauncey Billups. That's Dennis Rodman, of course. Yeah, they belong here. They have 3 titles. I definitely think they belong here. Boston Celtics, obviously, they're either 1 or they're 2, and I'm not sure. Them and the Lakers both have 17 titles now. Boston, like the Lakers, has a just unnameable roster of all-time greats with Larry Bird and Bob Cousy, Bill Russell, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rondo, Havlicek. You look at the top 50 players of all time, these 2 guys are going to account for about 20 of them. And that's crazy. Pacers, they've always been mediocre to me. Reggie Miller, Paul George. Now they have Victor. They just lost Victor Oladipo, but they've always been mediocre. Honestly, I'm moving down here. They had 1 era where they were respectable, and that was Reggie Miller. Utah Jazz. I said you have to win a championship to be here, but the Utah Jazz were probably the second best team in the 90s, and they never won a championship because of Michael Jordan. But Malone and Stockton and Jeff Hornacek, Mark Eaton, that team was a beast. They were really good, but it's a shame they didn't win a championship. But I think the Jazz overall are just as respectable as the Raptors and Bucks. 76ers. Chamberlain played here too. Iverson, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Julius Erving. Did they have a championship? Moses Malone won a. Did Moses Malone play here? I think they have a championship, and you know what? I forgot about Moses Malone. Moses Malone, Julius Erving, Allen Iverson. They have a great roster. Cavs, probably the worst team in the B tier by far. They don't really belong here, but you know what? LeBron won them a championship, so I'll give it to him. They're a joke if you take out LeBron's years, but you can't do that. That's unfair. LeBron is their GOAT, so it counts. Besides LeBron, Kyrie and Kevin Love, Mark Price, Ilgauskas maybe. I don't. They not good. Miami Heat, A tier. Miami Heat. They look great now. Made it to the finals last year. Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Jason White, Chocolate Williams. Oh my God, they're who am I missing? Hardaway, Alonzo. That's all I can think of. But that's a great roster. They have four championships. Yeah, they have 4 championships. Yeah, they're solid. Great team. Bulls. I kind of want to put the Bulls in the S tier, but I'm not going to do it. The Bulls won 6 titles, all in the 90s. And honestly, if you take out the 90s, before Jordan got there, they weren't good. And when Jordan left, they weren't good. They had a couple playoff runs with Derrick Rose. But besides that, their best players are Rose, Jordan, obviously, Pippen, Rodman, Joakim Noah. That's it. Phoenix Suns. I feel bad putting Phoenix in the B tier. I feel like Phoenix, or in the C tier. I feel like Phoenix is a B tier. Nash and Stoudemire. I don't think they ever made it to the finals though. Yeah, you can't call yourself you can't call even with these guys if you've never even been to the finals. Rockets, 2 titles. Won them in the 90s with Olajuwon, when Michael Jordan briefly retired to go play baseball. Olajuwon, Kenny the Jet Smith. I think Otis Thorpe was on that team. Yeah, they're solid. They just lost James Harden, but they got Oladipo now, and they got a bunch of draft picks. They're gonna be great in the future. The Rockets. Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady. Yeah, no, the Rockets have always they've been respectable for decades now. So gotta put them there. Mavericks. Luka, Porzingis, Nowitzki. You see a theme here? They know how to get those European players going. Their 3 best players of all time are all Europeans. I don't know if Porzingis is maybe Jason Kidd or Jason Terry. I'm not sure. Spurs. Obviously, Spurs have 5 championships. Yeah. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Tony Parker, Kawhi, Manu Ginobili, George Gervin. Just a monster of a roster. Tim Duncan held him down, won 5 championships for him. Timberwolves, they're a joke. Karl Anthony Towns is a great player. Kevin Garnett, great player. That is it. Everyone else that's ever played with the Timberwolves is bad. Nets. I know they just signed James Harden. I know they have 3 superstars. They're probably going to win a championship in a couple of years. But the Nets, I think when they were in New Jersey, I think they went to 1 finals in 2003 when they had Jason Kidd and Richard Jefferson and Kenyon Martin and shit like that. But they're not good. Yeah, they've been very unrespectable for a while now. But hey, guys, that's my whole list. If you guys disagree, just feel free to let me know. I'm not going to be too invested in it, man. But give me your opinions. I'll catch y'all later.